St. Ives, Cornwall, England. A town famous for its artistic heritage, unspoilt cobble streets, and of course these days, numerous surf shops. And this year, venue for the 1998 Survival. The spectacle will take place here in the arena of Porthmere Beach in brilliant sunshine, wide open to the incoming Atlantic swells. But for the many international athletes gathered here, this is going to be no holiday. The finest Ironmen and women in Europe, they call them. These ultra-fit athletes will push themselves to the limit as they compete in the most stamina-zapping event this season, the Pursuit. It's a combination of paddleboard, the surf swim, and this is nothing like swimming in the calm waters of a pool, negotiating the surf before they turn around for another leg on the surf kayak. This craft needing strength, power and balance to drive it forward into the oncoming waves, and then still have the energy in reserve for the run on the beach. Tough competition in prospect then. Let's meet some of the possible contenders who've gathered here from around the world. In the women's competition, Michelle Gammon from Great Britain, recognised as Europe's leading talent in this multidiscipline event.
I'm fit enough to keep going. I just keeping the step behind the boys and just hope that I'll do well.
David Dube represents France. Look out for him coming strong in the middle section of the competition. Hayden Holmes, one of the strong men from South Africa. Thomas Zacher, though, more used to these European conditions.
Pretty hard. I'm just wondering how the swim will go. I'm not like that confident with this cold that I could go so hard, but we'll see. Then on the ski I'm pretty confident. I think it should do all right on the ski.
And there's a whole flood of young contenders coming through. Among them, Andrew Byatt from Great Britain. Watch out for him.
Race plan, yeah, go flat out and everything. Just go as hard as I can.
Another young contender who knows these waters so well, Glenn Eldridge, also from Great Britain. But one of the big favourites to do well here and possibly get a competition, Matt Thomas. And you can bet he'll be head-to-head with this man, Nick Thorne from Great Britain.
My strengths at the moment will probably be on the swim and the board, and my ski is coming up to scratch. My run goes pretty well at the moment, so I'm pretty happy with that. So, yeah, I have a race plan. It's my secret.
Well, plenty of tension and concentration then before the first leg, and that's going to be the paddleboard. All these skills based on original life-saving skills. Sport very strong in Australia originally, but that's now grown around the world. And everyone anxious to get a very fast start, pushing out through the waves. Closely bunched together, looking for clear water as the competitors head out to the first turn mark. Already there, you can see Nick Thorne in the yellow jersey taking the lead, a small group tucked behind him. They're going to probably follow him as close as they can in this first leg. Nick, very strong in all the disciplines, but good on paddleboard. His opponent will be wanting to keep the difference to a minimum on this first leg. 3 more legs after that to tackle. So there's a long way to go yet. But at the moment, Nick leading from Chris McGrath on the red board in second. Matt Thomas is beside Hayden Holmes from South Africa, fighting for third place. On the yellow board is Keith Gammon in fourth, and the rest of the pack close behind.
He's just in behind him. As you can see, they're on way out to sea now as they make their way 25 metres, I would say, to the first of the turning cans. Thorne there still in the dominating position. He's going to go around
as
first.
Thorne reaches that first turn, looks as though he has about a 10-length lead from Chris McGrath in second. Thomas and Hayden Holmes still well up now. They'll be timing their final push as the rest of the pack come through. And on the turquoise board there, Michelle Gammon down in the back markers. That's a surprise to see her so far behind. Going to have a lot of work to do from that position. Nick Thorne begins to pull out a big lead in the following group. String out behind him on the way to that second marker. Round the second marker first, and really in his rhythm now, as you can see. Nick paddling hard, trying to gain advantage from the following swells as he goes by. Got to be fit, got to know your water as well. Lots of advantage to be gained. Anticipating the swells, and everyone now spreading out, trying to find their own clear water in the final dash for the beach. No mercy between men and women as they try to gain advantage. Matt Thomas is second. Looks down there to see the orange board of Andrew Byatt, trying to make an impression now in this final run in. Nick Thorne catches a wave to go further into the lead. Works hard to keep the board on the wave as he approaches the beach for the first time and begins the soft sand run. He knows he's got time, keeping relaxed. Starting to get into his rhythm. Behind him in second, Matt Thomas in the black and yellow cap, followed by Andrew Byatt, who's said to watch out for him. In the pack, watch out for the blue and red cap of Hayden Holmes, South Africa, the blue cap of Keith Gammon from Great Britain, and the bright blue board of Thomas Zackart from Germany there on the inside. So all the top contenders up front. Michelle Gammon just coming onto the beach. She's a long way off the pace. A lot of work to do to catch up. There's a little bit of time yet. She can settle into a rhythm. The competitors set off on their second lap. Nick Thorne has a tremendous lead and is dominating this race from the front. Michelle Gammon goes in the chase for points and time. These paddle boards, similar to those used by lifeguards on the beaches to rescue those in difficulties. They're light and they're fast. And all the competitors now in the water again. And it's a real hard race for those minor places. Those points in place, it could mean so much in the race for the overall title, and they all know that. Matt Thomas pushing on. He wants to get as far away from these boys as possible, and that's Zackart moving up to challenge Byatt now. He's up in the fourth. Hayden Holmes there is fifth, but still in there as Nick rounds the final yellow marker, with the others trying to close down his lead. All pretty frenetic out there, but Nick staying calm, paddling easily, sitting back, looking for some help from the swells. He knows he's won this discipline, but can he take the title overall? Now, real battle on for second and third place. Matt Thomas, way to the left there, you can see him. Andrew Byatt on the orange board. Zakar's dropped back a little bit, right into the clutches of Hayden Holmes from South Africa. The leader approaches the beach for the last time, taking it easy. A win in the paddleboard, and maximum points at this stage for Nick Thorne. Now that battle for second, and Thomas paddles for a small swell, and that's going to make the difference. He leaves suddenly the orange board of Andrew Byatt behind, and that's what we meant about knowing your water. That's the experience that counts. Matt Thomas reaches the beach in second place. Nick comes up across the official finish line. Thomas is going to be in second, with Byatt in third. But a few moments later, it's Robin Howell taking a surprising fourth place. Good performance from him. Final charge goes on for the other places. Let's just check the main results. Great performance from the British boys. But Thomas Zakar from Germany, he'll be disappointed. Was up into nearly third place and then lost out in the final rush.
Oh, it's pretty hard. Like, it's such a closed field competing here. It was hard around the boys and around the flags. There was no mercy getting around there.
So next leg, and it's the swim. This is a tough one. This is where the endurance experts will be hoping to make their mark. The competitors moving forward to take up their positions. That's a gun, and they're off. So important to anticipate the first one or two waves. That's where the experience comes in. Everyone looking for clean water, spreading out, trying to get an advantage as they move out to that first marker buoy. Let's see if we can spot anyone coming to the front. Look out for the yellow cap of Nick Thorne again, who won the paddleboard race. But no clear leader at the moment. And now, having got through the early swells, they'll be starting to search out that marker and make their move towards it. 350-metre course to run twice. And it's Nick Thorne once again who leads the pack to that first marker on the first lap. Quite a way to go yet though. One lap back along the beach, and then another, a total distance of 900 metres. And the pack close around that mark, but it's the familiar figure of Nick Thorne. Yellow cap and vest, heading towards the second marker. So there's someone with him, and that's the red and blue cap of Hayden Holmes from South Africa, swimming right beside him. We really have a race on our hands in the swim now. Those two breaking away from the pack. And there they are, locked together. Hayden Holmes sticking right beside Nick Thorne, keeping the pressure tactics on. Now, who's going to make the best of these swells? Who's going to judge them the best? They'll both be keeping an eye out behind as these swells come in and trying to ride in with them. They both go with that wave, but now they've got to pick themselves up, come out the surf, and Nick Thorne hits the beach just in front of Hayden Holmes. And Hayden Holmes, just a momentary glance back. He's comfortable at the moment. He won't worry too much until they hit the water again. And coming out in third place, Michelle Gammon. This is more like it. Didn't do too well in the paddleboard discipline, but this is more like it. Very strong girl, making up for her mistakes in the board race. Europe's #1 Iron Woman. And behind her there was Andrew Byatt, a former Commonwealth swimmer, Chris Humpage. But up front, Nick has managed to open a little bit of a lead on Hayden as they hit the water again. And Michelle Gammon settling in to her rhythm, throwing down the gauntlet to these lifeguards here. But up front, the battle continues. Both these Ironmen, excellent 400-metre swimmers, neither prepared to give way. And Holmes comes again, coming up beside Thorne, trying to put pressure on him. He'll be on the inside as they get to the mark. Getting away from the rest of the pack who've got a battle on themselves. As they get to the mark, Hayden Holmes gets there first. South Africa takes the lead from Great Britain. This is a real surprise for Nick Thorne. Now what can he do about it? Can he come back? As Michel Gammon leads the rest of the pack of the men to the first mark. But the chasers are getting closer. Chris Humpage has now overtaken Andrew Byatt, now in 5th place. And Andrew's going to have to find something extra to stay with Chris. And now we're on the return journey. Hayden Holmes out front, and just a body length lead on Nick. Michel still back there in 3rd, making the turn. And this is a real battle up front, neither of them giving way. Nick Thorne comes again. And tail enders rounding the second marker. They still know finishing place is important in the overall competition, so they'll still be going hard. But Nick Thorne is up alongside the South African. It's Britain versus South Africa for the swim race. It's just a matter of who catches the waves right now, stroke for stroke. Here comes a swell to help them to the beach. Hayden Holmes dives, but it's the long legs of Nick Thorne that touch and find sand first. He's got the advantage over Hayden as they begin to make their run. It's going to be a close one. Nick Thorne sprinting for the line through the sand. Just those last few metres in the surf made the difference. Michel Gammon has held on to 3rd place. And she's going to get a great cheer from the crowd. She hits the beach and comes through.
She's beaten some top-class swimmers out there. Now running now is Matt Thomas, Andrew Byatt, Chris Humpage.
That'll be a boost to her confidence in the overall competition. And Matt Thomas has come from nowhere to steal 3rd place from Andrew Byatt in 4th. Chris Humpage in 5th place. That's how it worked out overall in the swim. Thomas Zackard in 6th, Craig Robinson in 7th. But the man on top, out front, once again, Nick Thorne. But he only has 10 minutes rest before he gets on to the next discipline, the surf kayak. And the pressure he has put under in that swim might make the difference here. Paddlers wait in line then for the starter. Waiting for a lull in the surf, give all an even start, and they're off on the fastest craft in the survival event. The surf kayak takes strength, balance, and aggression if you're going to get to that first corner first. And Nick Thorne has had a poor start, the rest are away. Glenn Eldridge on the red skis out in front, with young Andrew Byatt, just 18 years old, once again showing up front, up beside him. And all the competitors grouped together as they head towards this first turning mark. Going beyond the swim mark this time, looking for the red turning buoy. And as the leaders approach the first turn, it's 2 red skis, paddled by Glenn Eldridge and Andrew Byatt, the 2 Britons side by side. Robin Howell is 3rd, with Matt Thomas on the white kayak beside him, and Thomas Zackard sitting in 5th. And there's Nick Thomas in the yellow. He's in 6th. He's got a lot of work to do to catch up and get out in front. And the crowd fascinated by this duel between the 2 leaders. Nice to see some local boys starring in the action. They head back into the beach, and it's Andrew Byatt who's gone into the lead from Glenn Eldridge. Robin Howell in 3rd. kayaks. The fastest craft in the water. And now they start searching for any small swells to gain an advantage. Back past the inner turn mark there, the rest of the field well spread out, and you can see the yellow lycra of Nick Thorne just off the searing pace up front, trying to catch up. And here they come towards the beach, and Robin Howell on the red and white and blue kayaks catches a swell. That brings him up to the two leaders. Nothing between these three now as they hit the beach and prepare for the sand run. And that's how close it is. Howell anticipating the swell. And as they reach the bumpets, it's Robin, Andrew and Glenn out in front. The handlers collecting the craft to run with them to the start line at the beginning of the second lap. The handlers have got a bit of sprinting to do. Robin Howell takes the lead in the first lap, followed by Andrew Byatt, then Glenn Eldridge. And Nick a long way behind. He really needs to sprint on the sand here to stay in touch. And there we see the turquoise kayak of Michelle Gammon coming in, hitting the surf. She's off and running. Helpers get in to move the kayak along the beach. But the battle still fierce up front between Byatt and Howell. Both these paddlers train together, so they know each other's strengths and weaknesses. Glenn Eldridge has fallen back to third. Tucking in behind the two leaders though. Maybe he's going to wait his moment to pounce. Thomas Sackart from Germany, lying in fourth place, looking strong though. Could come with a final sprint. Yep, he's got his eyes on the leaders. And in the yellow, Nick has dropped back to seventh. And maybe that previous swim has taken its toll on him. Only 10 minutes between each discipline for these boys to recover. It really is a hard day's work for an athlete. Round the final mark for the last time. Andrew Byatt has again taken the lead from Robin Howell. Howell on the inside though, he hasn't given up. Sackart is up there challenging the top three. This is going to be a real rush now back into the beach. Left-hand side of screen, Robin Howell pulls onto a swell. He's anticipated well again, paddling hard to stay with it. But Andrew's on the same wave. Now we do have a race, nothing between them. Robert Howell comes across with the wave. Andrew Byatt waiting his moment to make a surge, trying to get the maximum out of the wave, the natural power that's on offer to him. But Howell looks as though he's going to hit the beach first. Smooth transition, his legs hit, and it's a real sprint on now here between these two. Both paddlers going for it. Andrew Byatt gets the best of him round the corner. Robin Howell can't quite believe it, just stumbled at the end there. Has to be satisfied with second. Glenn Eldridge in third, but the honours to Byatt.
And once I got in my own water, I was all right, get paddling, catch some runners. Got clear then, and it was a lot easier to get into my stroke and get on with the job.
Well, the 18-year-old showing everyone up there, shows the potential he's got in future Ironman competitions. Nick Thorne paying the price for a very heavy competition in the swim. But overall, he still leads all the times of the previous three races added together, and that will decide the starting positions for the final discipline, the run. Nick Thorne starts the beach run in pole position, with Andrew Byatt 17 seconds behind, and Matt Thomas will have 25 seconds to make up. But that's a large time deficit to make up on Nick Thorne.
Ready to leave the first time.
They've got 3 by 1,000-metre laps of the beach in very soft sand, a very tiring total distance of 3 kilometres. Here's Andrew Byatt setting off. Matt Thomas in pursuit, 8 seconds difference. The more experienced Matt Thomas looking to close that down maybe straight away. Nick Thorne though, off down the beach on his own, heading out towards the first turning marker. But Thomas Sackart's going well. Running strongly, the German. He's already pulled up into 4th place, overtaking Hayden Holmes and Glenn Eldridge. Nick Thorne out on his own. Just got to keep concentrated. And everyone can see the gap. They see what they've got to close down. That's Andrew Byatt, only 18 years of age, remember, running well. But is it enough? Can he stay ahead of Matt Thomas? The runners keeping near the shore where the sand's firmer. But whatever you do, this is a hard, hard finish to this survival competition. The crowd cheer. These lifeguards on the last leg of this survival Ironman competition. They're right there. They can see the pain. They can see the hurt. Everyone's got to push hard now. Everyone with their own targets in mind. As Nick Thorne comes up to take the bell for the last lap. He's running well. A mere 1,000 metres to go. Michel finding it hard work, now lying back in 14th place. And Nick rounds the far marker for the last time. And Nick Thorne gets a winning hand from fellow competitor Robin Howell as he nears the finish line after a grueling 2-hour race here on Porthmere Beach. At the end of the 3-kilometre beach run. 2 years, Nick has tried to win this event, and finally, he's survival champion.
Oh yeah, it was good. Long race, but managed to pull through it, and I'm quite happy.
Very good, wonderful. One now.
Oh, mate. Well, the hardest probably the run at the end, because after all that, you want to get to show a little bit of energy for the end part, just in case you don't have enough energy to do it all. So that's probably the hardest part of all. So, that was good.
Michelle Gammon finally comes in.
I'm tired.
How was it?
It's hard work, but could have prepared there is a bit more waves, but not to worry.
So those are the results after all that hard work. Nick Thorne wins the 98 survival. Matt Thomas pulls up into 2nd place overall, with Andrew Byatt in 3rd. Thomas Zackart from Germany takes 4th place. Michelle Gammon finished in 17th to win the ladies' race from Lauren Smith and Carly Tuffy. They'll be back, and we'll be back for Survival 99.